Well, let's say this, they're going to shoot 35 of them. And if you really guard them and really guard the three, they're going to shoot 35 of them. And they do it off the bounce, they do it off the catch, they do it in transition, they do it in pick and rolls. But they also got Wiley, who's a heck of a post player, and they're very active, rebounding the ball. They're a really good team. They're really good.
Do you feel like you've made strides with your three-point defense over the last few weeks or so?
Yeah, and then the team dunked the first 5 shots. So we really guarded the three, and they dunked every ball on us. This is a work in progress. It really is. And trying to get guys to conquer themselves first. You can't feel pressed about your performance. You got to lose yourself in the team. What does the team need you to do? Has got to come before what you're trying to do or what you think you need to do. And that's going to be an ongoing thing. We'll all know. You'll be able to see it when you say they've blended, man. They're engaged with each other. Geez, and they're doing it for 40 minutes. We're not there yet.
You mentioned on the radio show that you might have to shuffle the bigs a little bit. Any more consideration with that?
I like the minutes, how they were kind of divided up. Probably PJ got 3 or 4 more minutes, and that could be distributed to the other guys, but I kind of liked the last game.
You mentioned last week Ashton buying in, and we're seeing the result of him buying in. Is anybody else close to
Well, it wasn't buying in, it was, what am I asking him to do? And is he doing it? What am I asking him and saying, this is what the team needs you to do? And is he doing it? They all knew. He's the #1 guy, and he's comfortable playing that way. That may be part of it, but they all know what is expected and what we need them to do for our team to do well. Now they just have to go out and perform and do it and make it part of who they are.
You talked about Ashton going back to Georgia last game. Now BJ's going back to school he was once committed to. How do you expect him to react to that?
Hopefully good. Ashton reacted pretty good.
Such a tough stretch of games coming up, meat of your schedule. Any sense of urgency, desperation?
What's the date? Are we still in January? Yeah. We're good. We're fine.
What do you think of the matchup, Jaron Harper and Ashton? How key is that?
Well, it's good too. They're both. You got 2 really good guards, and you know, we're not counting on Ashton to score. It's run our club and get people involved, and if you have opportunities to score, do it. So it's not as though it's shut him out, you know. But it's going to be a good matchup, and those guys are veterans. They've been through it, you know.
You had Wiley with USA Basketball. How has he developed since then? What do you see in his game?
He got hurt there, but he is a wonderful person, a terrific competitor. You know, really, really skilled with that ball near that basket, and he plays. I mean, he competes. He's good. He's big. He's physical. He's wide. Really good, and a great kid. Just, you know, salt of the earth kind of kid. I love coaching him.
These last 5 games with Ashton, what have you seen with his instincts that I guess, I don't want to say surprises you, but how do you see him kind of coming along?
Well, the one thing is, and I said this yesterday, is we started game planning a little bit with the guys. I said the funny thing is, what we just told Ashton to do, I fully expect he'll do that in the game. Some of you, not so much. Him, he watches, you tell him what you want him to do, and he goes out and tries to do it. And so that's part of what's made him what he is right now.
How's Kelvin bounced back from Tuesday? How's he responding to that?
He'll be fine. He'll be fine. You know, teams are collapsing on him, so we're saying, you got to find people. Well, yeah, but you got to score. That's what you do for us. So, yeah, you got to see people, but coach, you're telling me to score and see people if they collapse. Yeah, that's how you play the game. You take what they give you. But he's not quite there yet with that. But when he does, because he can pass, he can handle it, you know, but we need him to score baskets. How about we win that game like we did and he didn't score a basket? That's what's crazy. And it shows you that, you know, whoever it is, whether it's PJ, whether it's EJ, Nick, whoever, Reed, we can win without you, so don't feel that. This is about how do I make sure I'm helping this team win.
John, you guys got to the line a little bit less the last couple of games. Is that something, or is that?
I don't think the other teams got to the line that much either, so probably just, you know, calling the game in a way where you're not, you know, and if I remember, who was the game before the last game? Who was that?
Was it Vanderbilt?
Yeah, they played zone. It's hard to get to the line when a team's playing zone.
John, with the slow starts, any thoughts of mixing the starting lineups up?
Not yet, but it's obviously, I made the statement, when one guy's not engaged, you're not very good defensively. When two guys are not engaged, they dunk the first 5 shots they shoot. So.
What goes through your mind when it's not a big secret, the slow starts, they're fully aware, yet it continues to happen?
Hopefully it doesn't continue anymore. My thing to these guys are, when you're playing really good teams and they get you down, they're not letting you back in. And they're going to try to, then you'll make your run, like you're exhausted, and then they make a run and it's back to what it was. So the start of the game is important. The first 5 minutes of both halves are important. Now against Georgia, the first 5 minutes of the half is where we won the game. We went on a 9-0 run, so.
You've made an emphasis all year to get into your opponent's legs. The only issue with Auburn is they like to do that too, and they can play at that speed. Has there been any thought of kind of changing that idea, or just running with them and seeing what happens?
No, we got a good bench. We got a deep team. You know, we're going to play and do some things. This is a team that's shooting 35 threes, and if they make 20, what's the next game? But they're shooting them. Whether you're on them, hanging on them, they're shooting them. And so long rebounds matter in this game. I like to press a pressing team. I like to drive a driving team. I'm not so apt to shoot the three with the three-point shooting team. We don't play that way, but I guess that would be the other side. We'll shoot more threes than they do.
How radically different, if radically is the right word, is their style, their approach to what you've seen so far?
Well, it's kind of neat. Every team we played is doing different stuff, and it's helping our team as we prepare for what's ahead of us. But from a zone to hold the ball to shoot it quick to bring the bigs out to shoot threes to, I mean, every game has been different. So they're all learning experiences for us.
Cal, what does it say about the progress of the league, that you can have a stretch of 3 in a row against ranked teams, and then there's 4 or 5 more teams that are in that kind of conversation too? What's going on?
The league is good. I mean, we got a couple of teams that people didn't know about that are good. On top of the teams they knew were good, that are good. So now you're talking like, wait a minute, where do you get a W from? Like, and especially on the road. I mean, it's going to be a tough road for all of us. But at the end, it should prepare our teams for that run in the net that evaluates all of us. Our league is one of the best. So, and it's not just with 1 or 2 teams. You're talking like 10, 11 teams.
Coach Pearl, friend or foe?
Why you keep asking that? You know, we don't send Christmas cards, but, you know, I respect him, and if I see him out on the road, we'll talk, but, I mean.
You talked about Ashton playing to his strengths, and you're kind of holding him up as an example. Is there anybody else on the team that's getting close to playing to the strength that you want them to see?
They're still learning, all of them. They're still, and again, it's not a pressure to win. It's a pressure to perform, which is affecting our team. Can't have a bunch of guys that are feeling pressed about how they're playing. So they got to come and play, lose yourself in the team. If we win, it works for everybody. You all know that, you've seen it. They don't know that. This is their first time living it. They just know if I shoot all the balls and I score the most points, my name is in the paper more.
DeMarcus is expected to make his return tonight. Are you going to keep an eye on the game, and what do you expect?
Yeah, I'm happy for him. I just hit him about, maybe it was his birthday or something. Why did I hit him? I just texted him about something, and he hit me back. But yeah, it was funny. I told their people out there I was kind of happy they haven't been playing great basketball. The guy laughed, and I said, no, I'm serious. So when he comes in, this thing goes up, he's going to get the credit he deserves because he's a terrific player. He's an all-star.
He told someone that he's playing for the most hated team in sports. Is that kind of a pattern for him?
He did play. He did. Here.
Is there any extra motivation, specifically for the guys returning, on going back to Auburn based on what happened last year?
No. Most of these guys weren't here. I doubt if they even watched it. We know it's a ranked opponent on their court where they play well. It'll be a hard game for us to win. We know that. I just need them focused on preparation so we can, give ourselves a chance.
All right, thanks, guys.